We're going to perform some simple experiments to investigate the properties of solutions. So for this activity, I'll be using three plastic cups, ones that are clear that you can see in. I filled them about a fourth, a little bit less than half of the way with water. And then the other ingredient is salt. I have blue food coloring and some sugar. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pour a spoonful and then with the food coloring, a couple of drops in each one. And what I want you to do is I want you to describe in your science notebook any changes that you see during this experiment. So first off, we'll start off with the salt. And so I go ahead and pour the salt here. So just a spoonful. And I'm going to stir that. We're going to kind of stir it for about 30 seconds or so, and then we'll kind of let it sit, and then we'll move on to our next cup. And then we'll go back and we can look at any of the changes that we've seen. So here's kind of what this one is looking like. So I only stirred it for probably about 30 seconds or so, and you can kind of already see the changes here. The water looks now a little bit cloudy. So just try to, describe it to the best of your ability in your science notebook. All right, so that is cup number one. In cup number two, I'm going to be using a spoonful of sugar. And then we'll stir that again for another 30 seconds or so, and we'll see how this one compares to the salt water. Okay, so I stirred this one for about 30 seconds. And this is what it looks like. It's not as cloudy as the salt water. It almost looks sort of the same. And then our last and final cup is the food coloring and the water. And I'll probably only need one drop because food coloring goes a long way. And then I'll stir that. Now with this one, you can almost see the changes, instantly, that the food coloring changed the color of the water. So cup number one was our salt water, cup number two was the sugar water, and cup number three was the food coloring and water. So for each of these, I want you to write down in your science notebook which mixtures formed solutions out of these three cups. And so you just label cup number one, cup number two, cup number three, and tell me what type of solution they were. Was it what type of mixture? Was it a homogeneous mixture, or was it a heterogeneous mixture? And then after you've answered that, I want you to write down in your science notebook, how do you know? How do you know that this salt water was either a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture? The second thing that the third thing that I want you to do is I want you to tell me out of the salt water, which one was the solute and which one was the solvent. So I'll just use a different type of example that we had for our lemonade. Remember from our example, the sugar was the solute and the water was the solvent. So I want you to use that as a model, as an example to help you answer that last question. So now that we've explored all the types of mixtures, including the homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture, what are some type of mixtures or solutions that you know of or that you see either at home or in the environment, some that we already haven't talked about today. And I want you to write down those examples as well.